Coming up on Roanoke County Today, we talk about flood preparation and helping foster children for the holidays. This and more coming up on RCT.
Hello, I'm Amy Whitaker, Public Information Officer for Roanoke County. I'm here today at the Department of Social Services talking with a couple of staff members about the foster care holiday program. So this is Jess Bowyer and Amber Tiller. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Amy.
Sure. So Amber, just started off, tell us what the foster care holiday program is.
So the foster care holiday program is run by Jess and I. We will be going on 3 years now doing it, and we're really excited. So over the years, we've kind of created something that allows kids to be able to have gifts and feel really supported during the holiday season. So it's been something that has had this long-term sort of thing from worker to worker every year, and we've been able to, in a stable manner, kind of have it for the past 3 years and work with it. So we've created a newer wish list in order to kind of look at the children's interest, kind of some of their hobbies, and really be able to give them the best gifts to make them feel the most supported. So we service children 0 to 21 in the Roanoke County and Salem area that are placed in foster care. And we just ask that people call in who really want to help make this Christmas special for the children and families that we work with. So that usually looks like sponsorships, and that's more of Jess's domain. I have been able to help out with a lot of the other pieces, but Jess has a lot to say about sponsoring and how to do that.
So as far as sponsors go, do you usually match a child with a sponsor?
We do. So we work with Junior League, which helps the process of sponsoring run very smoothly. And since the program began, we have had people from the Roanoke County and Salem agencies, as well as members of our local community that want to sponsor, and they will reach out to our Junior League representative in order to begin said sponsorship. And then the Junior League will contact me directly in order to let me know that a sponsor has been made and what their preferences are, such as if they want a specific gender, an age group that they would like to sponsor, and how many children. You don't have to sponsor just one child. You could sponsor a group if you would like. And then once the sponsor has made the request to the Junior League representative contacts me, and I try to make those matches based on the sponsor's request. And then once that is taken place and I'm able to make that connection between the two and who will make the best sponsor for the child, I will then send that to Junior League, who will then reach back out to the sponsor with the child's wish list.
Is there anything specific required for sponsoring?
Not really. So it's if your heart just wants you to sponsor, if you've done it. We have a lot of repeat sponsors that enjoy helping kids. We have quite a few repeat sponsors that we reach out to every year just to kind of touch base with.
Okay, and anybody new who wants to join in?
Yeah.
Yes, we
and
love
some of
new
the people in the community, they usually ask, you know, I can't foster, or like, I just can't help out in a ton of ways. And this foster care holiday program is one way that a lot of people are encouraged to sponsor and come in and help, because we're being able to help the children and families in the community, and that's a huge piece. And so they're able to still make a difference, even if it doesn't always look like fostering and kind of hands-on and meeting the kid. It's just being able to help the child from a distance.
Sure, and this is a popular program, and I know Christmas time, everybody's in the giving spirit, so what a great way to give back to the community and certainly the children too.
Yeah, and if people ever wonder, you know, do you all ever have too many sponsors? If they do wonder that, usually no, we don't. Usually we have children coming in, you know, even in December, unfortunately, but sometimes that's just the best thing to keep the child safe. And also, if we end up with a surplus of sponsors that have sponsored our children in foster care, we actually work with Child Protective Services, who also sponsors families. So there is always a place for people to give. And like Jess said, the return sponsors that have been here with us for years, we usually give them a chance to really reach out and give us a heads up, but then we are absolutely open to anyone in the community helping out and really getting around these children and families just to make their Christmas and holiday season special.
Sure. And when should people call or email? Are there some cutoff dates?
So usually what we're looking at as far as cutoff dates, usually towards the end of November, Junior League will hand over their sponsorship and their piece of that puzzle to me, where sponsors can then contact me directly. But usually until the November 22nd cutoff date is when people would need to reach out to our Junior League representative and just say, hey, I'm interested in sponsoring, and if there's any questions that anybody ever has about wanting to sponsor, they can contact me directly at 540-283-8854 or at my email, which is jbowyer@roanokecountyva.gov.
Okay. And is there any additional information that sponsors should be aware of?
So there's actually a good amount of information that I would love for people to know. As Jess said, when people reach out, we love if they can, kind of give us a preference. If they don't have a preference, we also really appreciate that too, because one of the things that we've really figured out throughout the years is that our teenagers, especially children, 12 and 13 years and older, they can turn in a wish list, and then it's much harder for them to get sponsored. A lot of people like to sponsor some of the younger children.
Right.
They think that they have, the fun toys that are really interactive, and while I absolutely am with them on all of the cute baby clothes, they are adorable, there are some really, really great teens that I have gotten to know personally that genuinely just really appreciate the sponsorship, because a lot of the time they're the only one sponsoring that child. A lot of the time the children that aren't placed in family settings, especially our teens, don't get group homes or don't get residential facilities that are able to sponsor them just because of the time and the money that have to go into that. And so that's one thing that we ask people to be open to is, if you can sponsor a teen, we would really, really appreciate that.
Sure.
And also on top of that, if people are considering, sponsoring a teen or sponsoring, any of our children, I really encourage people to sponsor in a group, because it allows them to take off some of the financial pressure. I know some of our kids have asked for, Xboxes in the past, and I don't ever expect anyone to get an Xbox, even though last year we had someone who bought a PlayStation for someone, and that was really great. I don't ever expect that from people, but we ask people to really think about it as, their own children getting from one person, because it's really, really hard, too, on that note, for siblings. So we ask people to also sponsor siblings together, because it's really hard if one child gets, 5 to 10 presents and then another child gets 30. Then you've got a family who's trying to figure out how to divvy up 5 presents and 30 presents and make the 5-present child feel special still. So there are some things that, if you have questions about that, we don't ever really give people a money number, because we're not about that. We get it that everyone, has their finances and they're just trying to make a difference. But being able to talk with community groups, even some church groups, and tell them, hey, if you can get your Sunday school, or if you can get your, recreational team to band together and pick out like one thing for this kiddo, then we've got maybe 10 things for this kid that someone didn't have to break their bank for, but now this kid's got a really special Christmas coming up.
That's great.
And that's something that really means a lot. And the other piece of that is, if you don't feel like you can sponsor a child and you're saying, I would love to be able to give, but I don't know how, two things that we would really appreciate. As you can kind of see behind us, there are some empty tables, and this is actually the place where the Junior League helps us wrap everything. We ask for things not to be wrapped, and so we end up having a big wrapping party and checking all of the gifts, making sure that they're safe and age appropriate. And so sometimes we need wrapping supplies, and so if you have a surplus of newer wrapping supplies, we would be glad to take that if that's something that you're willing to donate. And also we're open to taking donations of cash or check check. And that's not anything that really goes towards DSS, it goes towards the children directly.
Sure.
So Jess and I, sometimes when children don't have a ton of gifts, or say if a child comes into care much closer to Christmas, then we're the ones who are going out and trying to find gifts for that child at the last minute.
Right.
And just trying to make sure that they really do feel cared and cherished during the holiday season.
That's what it's all about. Well, that's great. It sounds like there's many options for people to help out here with this program. So I think the best thing to do is to call or email.
Absolutely.
Okay, and find out more about that. Great. Well, we certainly hope that a lot of people will consider sponsoring or helping out at the Department of Social Services. And thank you for sharing this information, and I hope that we can come back and maybe see what happened and maybe watch those children take part in the opening of gifts. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Sure.
And like Amy said, I know it's a lot of information, but please give us a call if you want to learn more.
Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Amy Whitaker, Public Information Officer for Roanoke County, and I'm here talking today with Butch Workman, who is Floodplain Administrator for Roanoke County. Thanks for talking with me today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your position, Floodplain Administrator.
Okay.
What does that do, involve?
All righty. We are required to look at all the building permits in the county that are in the floodplain and issue permits according to FEMA's guidelines. Basically is what we have to do.
Okay, very important.
It's very important.
Sure.
Because that helps the county maintain a good standing with FEMA for further grants and those kind of things too. So that's part of it.
Talk a little bit about flood awareness. What are some of the areas in Roanoke County that are prone to flooding?
Okay, any low-lying area within the county. We have in the valley, we have over 40 streams studied by FEMA. There are over 30 in the county that are studied streams in Roanoke County. And of course, any tropical storm that comes through, or hurricane, remnants of a hurricane, are prone to create those flooding conditions, or flash flooding like we had last year. We had two flash flooding events in Southwest County.
What do you tell residents to expect when flooding occurs, and how to prepare?
How to prepare? Okay, first of all, watch for the National Weather Service warnings and so forth, and sign up for Roanoke County's emergency alert system.
Right.
That's two primary things you should do, and of course have flood insurance.
Right, and I would say ROCO Alert is the county's.
ROCO Alert is the system that you need to look up there.
Right.
Yeah.
And certainly preparing for what isn't expected, but what may come is important.
There's you can go to ready.gov and look up all the things and formats to use to help you to try to prepare for these flooding events, and that's what was some of the prepare-a-thon was about that we had at Roanoke City's event there, which was a valley-wide event, town of Benton and Roanoke County, and Roanoke City was there.
Okay, so talking about that prepare-a-thon, that's a great way for people to prepare. What did you all do when you were out there?
Okay, the National Weather Service was there, and they had their thundercloud there that the kids can use and mimic a thunderstorm. Okay. And there was a mock flood event there as well, and you pour water in it, you can see how things, how the flood works and so forth, how the flood event happens, and also there was a sand thing there that you could play in and change the contours with, and you could see the contours with the different color lights there. Red Cross was there as well.
So a lot of educational.
It was more educational piece, and just try to make flood awareness a topic for hurricane season in September, when usually we have our extreme events, September and October.
And what is that? I think that's a fairly new app.
Yes, there's a new app in our GIS system. It's called the Flood app, and you can go to our portal, flood map portal there, and link into that and just type in your address, and it will tell you whether you're in the floodplain or not. And also if there's an elevation certificate there, that's more detailed information that you need when you obtain flood insurance.
And so people can go on the FloodView app and actually
determine that. You can see the floodplain and floodway and where your house is. It's your house. It will also reflect your property as well. But you know, the FEMA requires flood insurance for your house.
Sure. Okay. So if people have questions about that, they should contact their insurance agent, or any questions about the floodplain, they can
call
contact
me.
your office?
Yes. I'll be glad to help them.
Okay. And where can they find your contact information and more about this online?
Online, they could call me at 772-2037. That's a direct number. Or they can go to the flood app and zoom in from there.
Okay, on RoanokeCountyVA.gov.
RoanokeCountyVA.gov.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, certainly weather is unpredictable, as we saw last year. We had
Yes.
some big flooding events.
We
so
sure did.
this is great to share this information with our residents. There were a lot of concerns and a lot of questions last year, so hopefully we've educated some folks.
Hopefully so.
Great. Thank you for
right.
joining me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Wendy Schultz, Tourism and Event Manager for Roanoke County and Parks, Rec, and Tourism. And I'm here to let everybody know about the most amazing light display that we're going to be putting on in conjunction and partnership with Center in the Square. We have joined forces to bring the community and the surrounding area the most incredible light show the region has ever seen. 500,000 lights will be here at Explore Park beginning November 29th through the 1st of January on select evenings. We're running for 26 days. So everyone will have an opportunity to come out and enjoy the sights, the sounds, and the magic of the night. We're going to be putting together a trail, and on that trail, a walking trail, you will be able to see adventure. You will be able to see fantasy. You will be able to see Christmas traditions. It's just going to be wonderful. But in addition to that, we will have other activities for folks to enjoy. Over here in the Taubman, the Arthur Taubman Center, will be Santa's Workshop. Variety of activities going on for kids of all ages, but of course Santa will be there on select nights. We also have craft activities for the kids. We're also going to be having a workshop where children can come in without their parents and buy gifts for their loved ones and friends. All kinds of activities going on there as well. We will have marshmallow roasting. Down below in Riverside Village, we will be having carriage rides on select nights. So you can come and enjoy beautiful carriage rides throughout the night. In addition to that, we will have food vendors. A variety of food vendors will be here each evening. So you can come out and enjoy the smells as well as the sounds of Christmas. It's going to be just such an incredible evening. We've also put together special nights. On special nights, we will have group discounts. We will have appreciation nights for military and first responders and teachers and social workers. Everyone will be able to come and enjoy. It's a true family experience for the holiday season. Another unique and wonderful aspect to Illuminites, our winter walk of lights at Explore Park, is going to be our artisan Christmas market. We had one last year. We'll be bringing it back this year. It will be open every night from November 29th through January 1. There will be well over 40 artisans who will have their amazing works of art here for sale to the public. It's a great place to do your Christmas shopping, to pick up a one-of-a-kind, unique item for that very special someone. There is everything you can imagine here for Christmas at our very own Christmas shop at Explore Park.
Hi, I'm Amy Whitaker, Public Information Officer with Roanoke County. I'm here visiting today with Tony Cox, who actually works in our library services but has taken on another role for the county right now. So welcome. I'm glad you're here, and we're going to talk about the census today. But first, tell me, what is your role and what committee is the county involved in?
Well, I'm the chair of the Complete Count Committee for Roanoke County, and we are, the libraries are very involved, so I'm the Assistant Director of the Library Services here, and so libraries have been hearing all about the census for a while, so when this opportunity came up, I jumped at it.
Great. So talk about just a broad overview of the national census and then how Roanoke County became involved in all of this.
Well, the national census it happens every 10 years. It was mandated in the Constitution. So since 1790, every 10 years, the country has been performing a census.
Right.
And Roanoke County, we are part of our country, so we are participating as fully as we can.
Right. And I know our administration, our elected officials went on to adopt a resolution establishing this committee, correct?
Yes, they've been very supportive.
Great.
Yes.
Well, it's important that we have everybody, all of our citizens involved in it. So how do people in our community use census data?
Lots of people use census data. Business owners use it to decide if they want to open up shop here.
Right.
We decide if we are going to build schools and if we are going to build new roads. So lots of people use this data.
Okay. And population totals also affect funding in our community, correct?
Yes, they do. The census data is used for 10 years. So the statistics that we use are used to for social services, for schools, for health care. So this really hits home with Roanoke County. We use all these services.
Sure, and all across the country too.
Yes, of course, across the country, yes.
And so is it true that every person not counted represents a loss of $2,000 in federal funding?
Yes, $2,000 every year. So until the next census. So it's basically $20,000 that we're missing out for every person that's not counted. So we want to make sure everyone who lives here and uses the services in Roanoke County is counted.
Sure, that's really important.
Yes, it's very important.
And tell us about when the census will begin. What should people be looking for?
In March of 2020, the census will send out postcards to every address in the country. And when you receive your census postcard in the mail, inviting you to respond, you can go online and you can call and you can reply by mail.
And this is the first year, I think you shared with me earlier, that it's online.
Yes, it's the first time it'll be online, so we expect a lot of people to come into the library. The library's right here. And any location throughout the Roanoke Valley, if you don't have internet at home, you can come in and fill out the census online.
Okay, and I think you're going to have a census day at the library?
We are planning a census day, so we want everyone to get excited about it. The census is important because of the funding, and we want everyone, especially children and seniors, because they're they're the harder to reach populations. So we want to make sure, even if you're born on April the 1st, 2020, we want you to be counted.
Okay, but that's important that you mentioned that under the age of 5 is a population not often counted.
Under the age of 5, yes. So we want to make sure that those populations, college students, if you're living at Hollins, then you want to be counted too.
Okay, so wherever you're laying your head?
Yes, on April 1st.
On April 1st.
Yes.
That's where you'll be counted.
That is where you'll be counted. We want to count you once, only once, and in the right place.
Okay, good. It's a good motto to have.
Yes.
Good. And so, you know, there are a lot of scams out there now. People are worried when strange people are coming to their doors asking them for things. So what can we expect, or what can our community expect to see if a census worker comes to their door?
Well, you can identify them they will have a name tag with their photo and a Department of Commerce watermark on it. If you ask them, they will give you their supervisor's phone number, contact information, and they will have a laptop, and they'll have a bag with the Census Bureau logo on it.
Okay,
yes.
So that's
and also you might be called for a survey, to participate in a survey on the phone. Those calls will originate from Tucson, Arizona and Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Okay, that's great to know, to be able to share with the public.
Yes, a lot of phone scams happening. So
there are a lot of phone scams going on. They're not going to ask for money, they're just going to talk about the census.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay, so if people want to find out more information about this, where can they go?
2020census.gov. This is the new website that they have. It's very user-friendly, and it's got a lot of videos. Any questions that you have will be answered on this website. You can also follow the U.S. Census Bureau on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I forgot to ask too, if people here in the community would like to work with the Census Bureau, is that an option?
It is, 2020census.gov. That's the website where you go to see where you can apply for jobs. There are positions here, field positions in the Roanoke County area. Pays $15 an hour.
Okay.
Yes, and also we do have a link for more information on the Roanoke County website, RoanokeCountyVA.gov.
Correct.
Yes.
Great, great. Well, good. Well, we look forward to talking to you again as we get closer to the census. We're all about trying to educate the community right now.
Yes, yes, and this will help our future, so the census will help us create a better future for Roanoke County.
Very good. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Brian Klingenpeel, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator for Roanoke County Fire and Rescue. In 1925, President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed Fire Prevention Week to be a national observance, making it the longest-running public health observance in our country. During Fire Prevention Week, children, adults, and teachers learn about ways that they can stay safe in case of a fire. And firefighters provide life-saving public education in an effort to drastically reduce the number of casualties caused each year by fire. Fire Prevention Week is observed every year during the week of October the 9th in commemoration of the Great Fire of Chicago that happened in 1871 and did devastating damage. Over 250 people lost their lives in that fire, and 100,000 people were left homeless. The fire destroyed more than 17,000 structures and burned more than 2,000 acres of land. In a fire, mere seconds can mean the difference between a safe escape and a tragedy. Fire safety education is not just for school children. Teenagers, adults, and the elderly also need to know about fire safety, as all of them are at risk from fire. So every member of our community should take some time during the month of October to learn about ways that you can stay safe in case of a fire. One of the most important things that you can do is to make sure that you have working smoke alarms in your home. Smoke alarms detect and alert people to a fire in the early stages. Smoke alarms can mean the difference between life and death in a fire. Having a working smoke alarm in your home doubles the chance that you will get out alive. So you should install smoke alarms in the sleeping areas of your home, as well as on every level of your home, including the basement. You should test your smoke alarms at least once a month using the test button. And please make sure that every person in your house knows what to do when they hear the smoke alarm sound. The theme of this year's Fire Prevention Week is "Not every hero wears a cape. Plan and practice your escape." Cooking fires are the leading cause of house fires across the United States. They're also the #1 cause of house fires right here in Roanoke County. And a lot of that is from unattended cooking. So please, anytime you have anything on the stovetop, please make sure that you stay in the kitchen and that you are alert. The best way to put out a grease fire on the stovetop is with a lid that fits the pan. You use it as a shield and go from the front to the back to cover the fire, and then turn off the burner, and the fire will go out. Roanoke County Fire and Rescue wants all of our residents to be safe from fire all year long. So if you would like any more information about these fire safety tips or others, please don't hesitate to find us on the web at RoanokeCountyVA.gov/fire rescue, or you can call me directly at 540-777-8718.